Hey, it's the Empire, Geoboxing Empire, Backstory Boxing. Now, man, my boy Tyson Fury, man, he just had elbow surgery, right? He's recovering right now. He's saying that Deontay Wilder fight has taken a lot out of him, right? He is now the current undefeated WBC champion right now. Just had his first title defense against Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. But, with that surgery underway and it seemingly finished, Tyson Fury before that was talking about retiring from the sport of boxing, and that, the Deontay Wilder fight just took so much out of him. Right? With all that being said, man, Tyson Fury is supposed to be set to defend his title against the mandatory position in Dillian Whyte. They call this guy the body snatcher, man. My boy Dillian Whyte, man, the left hook god. Some people call him, well, no one calls him that, but his left hook is the closest thing you're going to get to the Joe Frazier hook in this generation of heavyweight division right now, right? Drop like everyone with that left hook. I don't think there's a guy at the top level he hasn't dropped with that left hook, right? He knocked out Derek Chisora with it, dropped Joseph Parker with it, knocked out Lucas Brown with it, and well, I guess he didn't drop Oscar Rivas with it, but he's dropped a lot of top dogs with it, right? It's either you're gonna hurt Dillian Whyte first, or he's gonna hurt you with the left hook. So either way, man, Dillian Whyte and Tyson Fury, they're talking about that happening, but Tyson Fury is so sporadic, man, so sporadic. He's not a fan of rematches or just defending his title or being told what to do. Let's say that, right? So we should be thinking about a plan B. The plan B, actually, from the WBC is Deontay Wilder is actually in a top position to fight for the WBC title. They're saying that Deontay Wilder will fight Dillian Whyte if Tyson Fury does not fight him, and he'll get the WBC strap, right? They're basically threatening Tyson Fury, saying if you don't take this fight, we're going to strip you for this title. So all that being said, man, Dillian Whyte, man, phenomenal fighter, man, and I do think he has some boxing ability that's slept on, right? He outboxed Joseph Parker in a fight where Joseph Parker dropped him, and Dillian Whyte they both drop each other, right? And Dillian Whyte was able to get a decision out of Joseph Parker. Controversial as it may be, Dillian Whyte still outboxed Joseph Parker. The same could be said with Oscar Rivas, right? Dillian Whyte got dropped in that fight, but Dillian Whyte had a cushiony enough scorecard to where he outboxed Oscar Rivas, right? I'm saying all this to say that Dillian Whyte has the potential to, if he doesn't get stopped, obviously, to outbox Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Will he do it? I mean, who knows? But all I know is Dillian Whyte has a similar style to what Tyson Fury is trying to do right now with the whole being hyper aggressive thing, fighting Deontay Wilder in the inside. I do think that Deontay Wilder will most likely stop Dillian Whyte because he's just too fucking tall. But if a boxing match takes place, I think that Dillian Whyte can possibly outbox Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Now, it's gonna have to be like a perfect fight for Dillian Whyte because he's gonna have to get past Deontay Wilder's reach. But I do think if you just take the height out of the equation, Dillian Whyte's the better boxer, right? He completely dominated Alexander Povetkin, man, dropped him many times. But Deontay Wilder is still that guy, man. And I do think that with his new team, with Malik Scott and everybody, the guy definitely, he put that weight on, and it was in the wrong place, right? He got too big up top. He needs to put it on his legs down, and we're gonna see how this whole thing plays out. But yeah, man, Dillian Whyte versus Deontay Wilder, man, is definitely one of the more exciting fights in the heavyweight division. This is one of the biggest fights that can be made outside of the champions fighting each other, right? People have been calling for it for a while, right? There's a whole thing going on where Dillian Whyte was, saying that, I've been WBC mandatory for, 180 days, right? He was trashing Mauricio Solomon, the president and the CEO of the WBC. He was doing a lot of things to get that title shot. And now that he finally got it, he don't care who he needs to fight. Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. And this is great for the sport of boxing, man. Finally, the WBC is making Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder, whoever needs to fight Dillian Whyte for a title, because Dillian Whyte, he's had one of the better resumes in the heavyweight division. Outside the champions, he has the best resume in the heavyweight division, right? He's beaten former WBO champion Joseph Parker, right? He knocked out former WBA regular champion Lucas Brown, right? He stopped Derek Chisora the second time around. First time around, Derek Chisora, he looked great in that fight. Derek Chisora did, but Dillian Whyte stopped Derek Chisora the second time around, right? But yeah, I keep going on breaking down Dillian Whyte's resume, but he does have the best resume in boxing outside of the champions. So we're gonna see how this whole thing plays out with Deontay Wilder and Dillian Whyte. There's a lot of questions that Deontay Wilder needs to answer. A lot of people say that even Deontay Wilder himself was saying things like Tyson Fury has no power, right? Being 300 pounds, it can add on to the power. Sometimes power doesn't look impressive, but sometimes you guys can just hit hard, right? And the only way I can give you a metaphor for this is like imagine a train moving 3 inches and hitting you. It don't need to move fast, but the sheer force of the train is going to do a lot of damage. Tyson Fury is definitely the heaviest heavyweight champion we had in a long time that's that tall, for sure. So it may not look like he hits hard, but just shifting his weight and throwing punches properly, and then just doing things like shifting your weight, and you're punching with 300 or close to 300 pounds of force, right? We're gonna see if Deontay Wilder can really take a punch from a shorter fighter in Dillian Whyte, and he has the best left hook in the heavyweight division. Dillian Whyte, I think he has the best left hook in the heavyweight division, for bar none. He hits harder, in my opinion, than Anthony Joshua, his left hook at least, and I think his left hook is better than Deontay Wilder's and Tyson Fury's and Alexander Usyk. Things a little different with him because he's southpaw, but more or less, because Alexander Usyk's Sunday punch is like a straight left. It's not really like a left hook. But all that being said, man, this is definitely gonna be one of the biggest fights. This is gonna be pay-per-view for sure. And in my opinion, I actually think the more exciting fight is the Deontay Wilder versus Dillian Whyte fight than the Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte fight. I think that Tyson Fury could possibly use his height and reach to keep Dillian Whyte away. But who knows how Tyson Fury really is now with his height and reach. The guy, he used to fight like that, more like an Ali type style, getting on his toes, moving around the ring, throwing jabs. He used to do that a lot more pre-Deontay Wilder. But now that he fought Deontay Wilder, did he change his style too much to a aggressive, slugfest kind of guy? Only time tells, man. Because I can say this right now: if Tyson Fury decides to fight Dillian Whyte like he tried to do Deontay Wilder, I think Tyson Fury is getting stopped. I was gonna say it right now. I think that Tyson Fury, if he tries to bully Dillian Whyte is a much better inside fighter than Deontay Wilder, right? He's a much better inside fighter than Deontay Wilder, and he can generate power from the inside. Plus his best punches are inside punches, right? So it's gonna be a challenge for Tyson Fury if he tries to bully Dillian Whyte, and we're gonna see, man. We're gonna see how hard Tyson Fury hits by fighting Dillian Whyte. I understand that it's gonna be a good fight for sure. But me personally, Deontay Wilder versus Dillian Whyte, that's the fight I want to see, and that's gonna be pay-per-view for sure. And I understand, there's been a lot of times that Deontay Wilder, he's never fought outside the USA, right? When Dillian Whyte or Deontay Wilder not being champion anymore, they're gonna try to B-side Deontay Wilder, and I think it's gonna work. And they're gonna force Deontay Wilder to go to the UK for sure. So I see that coming. That's inevitable. It's inevitable. It's gonna happen, right? So we're gonna see how this whole thing plays out, man. I do think that Dillian Whyte has a chance to outbox Deontay Wilder. I think he's a better boxer. He does more things, more advanced, right? You watch Dillian Whyte versus Alexander Povetkin. His inside fighting is disgusting. But Deontay Wilder has that bomb power. Deontay Wilder is not known for his boxing ability. He's known for knocking guys out. Taller than Dillian Whyte, but from what I've seen from Deontay Wilder, that last fight with Tyson Fury, I don't know why Deontay Wilder gassed out so quickly. All that weight was not a good idea, and it might look like he might get outboxed if he doesn't lose that weight on him, because he got tired way too quickly in that fight with Tyson Fury. It was shocking how tired he got so quick in the fight, right? Dropped Fury in round 4, and then he looked exhausted. wild stuff from Deontay Wilder and his team. I don't know what they're thinking, getting too big up top. People always talk about, Deontay Wilder's legs. You think he'll address it. He did not. Wild stuff. Anyway, let me know how you guys feel about it, though. Who you guys got? Do you guys think that Deontay Wilder fight Dillian Whyte in the UK? I think so. It's going to happen. He's going to have to, if Tyson Fury does not make this fight happen, it's going to be Deontay Wilder in the UK, for bar none. Let me know how you guys feel about it, though. Like, comment, subscribe. It's the Empire. Geobox Empire. Peace.
Listen, Jessica, I've been fighting for you. Just been fighting. That time at the train tracks, I came running for you.
I don't want to hear it. I mean, this is the last time. I'm fed up with you. You did me wrong last year. You did me wrong this year. Valentine's Day came up and you dumped me on Valentine's Day so you wouldn't have to buy me now. I'm done.
I didn't know because of daylight saving times. I don't celebrate it as a holiday.
Well, I understand, but you still, I have needs, and you please me in good ways. But when it's time for me and you time, you pick your guys over me. I know sometimes it's bros over hoes, but I'm not your hoe. I've been with you for 3 years. Okay?
It's been 4 years, Jessica.
Well, whatever.
I love you.
I love you.
This is what I think of all this shit.